I'm a little older than Bob, although he won't admit
He's
it.
about 10 years older than me.
So not 10, please. Maybe I am. We met long before we ever got well known.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, we met, I'll never forget it, 14th Street.
Yeah.
Huh? On 14th Street, he and I, we shared some friends together, and while I was walking, we were walking toward, I think it was First Avenue or something, and I saw Bob coming the other way, and he happened to know the people I was with, and they introduced us. Bob is born in Manhattan, as I am, but I was born on 86th Street. You were born downtown.
Down the village, yeah.
In the village. And I found that at that time, that was shortly after there was this real surge in Greenwich Village of all the cafes and coffee houses that did plays and poetry readings and stuff in the village, and jazz, and it was...
We met at a poetry reading.
Yeah, but we could have.
We
could have. I mean, I went to a few of those readings. I didn't read there, but I would. They were pretty, pretty often. And I did plays there. Did you ever do a play down there?
Once.
In the cafes? Yeah.
Well, it's a place called Bastiano's Cellar. It was near NYU, right on Waverly Place.
Right. I did one at Cafecino.
Cappuccino, yeah.
Phase 2. That's a place that Woody Allen used to. He would do the bitter end. Remember the bitter
Yeah.
end? Yeah. And then a lot of that stuff. The cafes were great because when you would do 16 performances a week of a play, and after each performance we'd pass the hat around.
That many performances? 16?
Yeah, 16.
Jesus, wow. How long was the play?
Well, they usually were short.
Short
They
plays,
usually
yeah.
one-act plays. And then we passed the hat around. That's how we ate. It was great. I really missed them. I do.
They were okay.
For him, they were okay, but for me, they were glorious. I had a great time. We've talked about things a lot.
Yeah.
See, we almost did Glengarry Glen Ross together. He was going to play the Levine role, and we were really into it. We were going to do it. Other things
Yeah,
too.
who was
1900 too. We were going to do together.
Yeah.
Bertolucci.
Who was going to direct the Glengarry? Was there a director that we had?
Well, I don't remember that. No, it was you and I.
We were going to do it. We had no director.
We didn't have Jamie Foley, who finally did do it. It was great, but we were very close to doing it. What else? Pope of Greenwich Village.
That was, yeah.
There's another one we were very close to doing. And
I remember we talked about, we were on the street one night outside of Cafe Central or something, and you were, I thought, this is how I remember, I could be wrong. We were talking about Scarface, and you were considering who to do it, what director. And I was saying, you should really do it with Brian, of the choices that you had. I thought and I said, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it, because I want to do it if it would. Anyway.
yeah, if they were going to do Scarface, Marty and Bob, they didn't do it yet. They were playing with the idea, thinking about it. And then I know when I saw Scarface, I had in California. I called Marty Bregman, who's the producer, and I said, I think this is this guy, Paul Muni, in this part. So I said, I think it was great. And I said, I would just like to do him if I could. And then he said, and then he didn't know Scarface. I said, see the film. I think we can do it. I didn't know that Marty and Bob were interested in it.
We were just talking. I think it was all loose, wasn't it?
Well, he got Lumet, Bregman, and Lumet. It was Lumet's idea to do it Cuban. It was, but then Marty and Lumet didn't quite agree on where the thing should go and how it should be done. And then Brian came in. They had a party, And Brian came in, and that was I think that was the thing that took it off, because the way Brian saw it, and Oliver saw it, and Marty saw it, and I saw it, and this sort of, this kind of thing that was all, we pretty much were opposite of each other in certain areas, and that's when Scarface came about.
I just thought, I think I remember, I just felt Brian would be the best because he would be the least conventional of the choices of the other directors. And that was all. And I had worked with him, I know.
It turned out that that was very true.
Yeah.
Because he did have his own way of doing it, which made it different, and it really did make that film. And so did Bregman, by the way. Marty had that feeling about it too, larger than life. Just that little step up.
During the time of Godfather, the way I understand it, Francis wanted Al, but every actor was up for it. I kind of, knowing that Francis wanted him, I thought of the Sonny part. I liked that too, and I even read for Francis. But he also wanted Jimmy Caan for that, the way I understand it.
Yeah, he did.
So, but everybody was up for the part. And then Al had a thing in the gang that couldn't shoot straight, that he had to leave. When he left to do Godfather, then they pulled me I read for the part. I read for there was a kid's salary part, and then there was the kid who's from Calabria, comes over the bike race.
Yeah,
they gave me that part, and that's what I was going to do.
That was such a nice role. He played it so beautiful. It was a great part.
What has been your favorite character that Robert De Niro's played?
There's just so much. I just saw Casino the other night, and I'm, just staggering and beautiful. But I guess the greatest, probably knows one of the greatest performances on film history is his Raging Bull. Beyond belief. Pretty much everything Bob does, everything I've seen. 640 films.
Well, Godfather, one. He was unique and special, and I, of course, understood that why Francis wanted Al. It's, as an actor, sometimes what would upset you is if someone does a part that you were up for, and they use them for the wrong reasons, and the person isn't really as good. You want them to be good, and so then you're happy. Okay, well, somebody who's good or great in it, you say, well, that's fine. It's when they are not good, and you say, it's a disappointment, even whether that I couldn't have done it. It's just that it's a disappointment that the director didn't have the ability to get a great performance or get an actor who would be up to what that part needed. I remember once I was in a casting session, and I'm sure this was, I never even confirmed it with Francis, but I know he was talking to, I don't know, maybe it was Bob Evans or somebody, and he was talking about certain actors, and I won't even say who they were, and they were like so wrong for the part. Like he says, but I know he's great, and they'd just been in a hit movie at that time, so it was classic. If I told you the names, you'd say, oh God. But I remember Francis being very nice and diplomatic with the powers that be, that, well, no, they can't, not really, and this and that. And he was just, because Francis was kind of very open in front of people. I was just an actor reading for it. So that's the absurd part of it, where they'll push somebody who's totally wrong for it. And I'm sure Francis was under a lot of pressure for them to go against whatever he would want to do, because it's the flavor of the month or the year, and he stuck with Al.
First time on screen together would be in Heat.
Yeah. I thought we would get together and rehearse, and Bob said, no, I don't think it's a good idea. And he was right, because they never saw each other before. And it was a simple scene. And so when we came to shoot, that was the time we met up and acted together for the first time.
You're looking to become a penologist?
You're looking to go back? You know, I chase down some cruise guys just looking to fuck up, get busted back. That you?
You must have worked some dipshit cruise.
I worked all kinds.
You see me doing thrill-seeker liquor store holdups with a Born to Lose tattoo on my chest?
No, I do not.
Right. I am never going back.
Then don't take down scores.
I do what I do best. I take scores. You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me. I love that scene, you know, and I was looking forward to us doing it eventually. I just loved the way it was written. The whole thing was great for us.
And the 2 cameras, which is always nice, you know. So it was good. It's so great to be working with him, actually working with him now. Like most films, you know, they go through a lot of, they go through a lot of levels, and this started years ago. I remember sitting with Marty and Bob in a hotel in L.A. talking about it, and that was like about 5 or 6 years before
Before it happened, you and I, we walked over, and Marty was in the hotel. We had a meeting.
It was really good, and I kept thinking it was going to come about sooner or later. But knowing about this stuff, because you know, you when you experience with it, you know that it's going to go through various incarnations, and then it'll finally find its way, and it did finally.
Because it was going, you know, Marty was doing another project. I mean, I had something, Al, we all had something, but he was the driving force. We had to wait for him to be ready. Being the director, it takes more time. You're doing one movie, and once when I was passing through London, he was doing what's the movie with the 3D that he did with the Hugo, yeah. And so we talked, and he was just, you know, was there, and then I said, well, I want to get your permission, and then I got your permission, and then Joe Pesci's, that maybe from time to time we talk about it, because I'm very suspicious about that. And since it was so far off, we didn't have a date, because everybody wants to know when the start date would be. I said, Marty, Al, Joe, do you guys mind if I say it, or any of us can say it from time to time? Can I say that? Are we able to say that? Everybody's comfortable with that? Because with me, at times I'm always superstitious. You say it, and then it doesn't happen. That's happened to me. But I felt this one was one that we should put it out there. And even though things were still loose about commitment to time, then we had ups and downs of who's going to finance it, and then finally Netflix came and made it easy for all of us. And it was a good thing, because I feel, obviously, because we could do it. We could do it and not be anxious about the budget and the technical stuff that had to be done, which Marty needed to have the ability to do that with a bit of freedom, so that and not to be too haggling about this and that. So it was a good thing.
And also, I think the other thing was that you put together the reading. And that was a big thing. You put together a reading of the film, and we had about 50 people were there. They were photographing it and everything. And they had Pesci, and they had some of the players in the film.
Yeah, some of the actors.
And when you had Marty, and
Marty,
Marty heard it.
I don't know, was Bobby Cannavale in
the
he
was there.
Bobby was there, Paul Herman. A lot of the people who were in it were, like, a lot of times I do it, and because, you know, Al got me onto it, is, for example, if we're considering doing a part or something, say, how about having a reading with the director, and not necessarily the actors who are going to be in it. Some will be in it, or maybe, but it's just a loose thing, and everybody understands that. You just sit around, have a reading to kind of lift it off the page a little bit. And that reading could mean that you will commit or not commit or whatever, but just another sort of way of inching closer to the project. So he started me on that.
You get a sense of the project. I'll tell you something. I'll say it because I read aloud Pretty Woman, you know, with the young Julia Roberts. And with Gary Marshall got a group of us together, and I was actually filming something at the time, and I went, and we read it, and you could tell. I mean, I could tell after the reading, this is going to be going to be a hit picture. You just knew it. And this girl was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I said to Gary, where did you get this girl? And so you really got a sense of it. And that was just, it proved, you know, that instinct was correct. So you do learn a lot from it. I didn't do the picture.
Did they offer it to you?
Yeah, they offered it to me. I think one of the things that we shared, which was really helpful, was we would talk to each other occasionally about our lives, because our lives were changed, you know, pretty radically with all of a sudden being well known and stuff. So we would share that with each other, and it was very comforting. And at certain times, remember?
Yeah. No.
And he knows a lot about me, I'll tell you. And I know a lot about him, and so because we would, you know, and it was very helpful to me. Quite a few times Bob has helped me out.